Hey God, I know I haven't asked for a lot in this life. Granted, I was born rich and white and a man and straight. Well, except that one time in Vegas, but that was Vegas. Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we are just a bunch of bros, and tonight a girl, drinking beer and watching movies. I'm your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. This is episode 195. Thank you so much for joining us for the movie discussion. Let's begin by meeting the fellow bros. We start with the American hero, Nate Thurmond. Nate, I have to ask, is it anti-American to ignore Thanksgiving and basically go straight into Christmas mode this time of year? Because I'm seeing a lot of people do it probably more and more each year.
No, you do you, and I think that's kind of actually maybe like the woke thing to do now. Just skip over Thanksgiving, go straight to Christmas, start hanging the lights up, and go full bore on it.
But can we still do the food and all that?
Yeah, that's just like a typical Friday evening for me at Thanksgiving dinner. So I know Geiger's fat ass does the same thing. So
Jesus Christ, Geiger's disgusting. Next, we go to his wife, Mrs. the American hero, Ashley Thurmond. Mrs. Thurmond, how much did Nate pay you to come on the show tonight and help us out?
Not enough, but we have Peeps here, so she's keeping me company.
Okay, good. I think if you guys share a bank account, though, it's like
it's kind of a moot point.
It's like, I'll give you whatever you fucking want.
Yeah, you can just take the money out of my account. Put it into
Lastly,
account.
We go to our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. Now, Geiger, I ask you this question at least once a year because I like to track this stat. But since Black Friday shopping has now basically gone to the majority of online sales, I mean, how much do you just miss getting in fights with total strangers at Best Buy over flat screen TVs?
Dude, it's better now because you just fight with people through Twitter. It's actually easier, and you can fight with more people, at the same time. And I'm very happy that Ashley could join so we could secure the two women that actually do subscribe to our podcast. It's kind of like, she's securing the black vote if we were like political or something. They're safe. At least another one.
She's securing our female audience, a very small percentage.
Also, nothing I can say can be feministic now because there's a woman on the pod.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's exactly.
If anyone would know, it would be us. My own wife actually doesn't even listen to the podcast. She's like, well, I can hear you sometimes from the other room. I'm like, oh, because that's the same thing.
Yeah,
that counts.
That's enough. She hears through the grapevine. She hears a little bit.
Through the grapevine.
Yeah.
People gossip about this show a lot.
Well, just because you have grapevines in your hallway, so
Fuck, that's true.
I've been meaning to talk to you about this. It's probably a hazard.
Is that the literal meaning of that saying?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google it later now.
Jesus, we derailed. All right. If you have not noticed from the title of this episode, this is actually the third anniversary, I believe on November 8th, as we're recording this. So by the time you're listening to this, it'll be like at least a day later. But of the passing of legend and someone who we all revered on this podcast, Alex Trebek. And we started a tradition when we lost him to every year. We sort of made a pact like the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants to do a game of movie Jeopardy in honor of Alex Trebek. And this is the third iteration of that. So what I'm going to do right now for both the people on the pod and those at home is I'm going to share my screen, and you are going to see a Jeopardy board, which I will read out loud to our listeners, because even on our video version, you won't be able to see this. But we have 3 categories, each with 5 questions ranging from $100 to $500, and then a final Jeopardy. We have comedies of the aughts. Can you guys see that, by the way, on Skype?
Good enough, yeah.
Comedies, good enough. Comedies of the aughts, which are comedies from starting in 2000 till, I don't know, Nate, when do the aughts end? Like 10 officially?
Yeah. 09 would be the last aught.
Okay. I don't think there's anything that late in the aughts, but comedies from basically the early 2000s. Second category is That Hansel Is So Hot, where every one of those questions revolves around an Owen Wilson movie. And then the last category is called 90s movies plots. And I'm actually not going to describe that to you because that's what it is. It is a 90s movie plot. Now, I didn't actually draw the order to see who gets to go first, but the 3 characters I've selected are potato, broccoli, and celery. So how do we want to decide who goes first? And I guess we could go snake order. Or do you want to go regular Jeopardy order where you just keep the board? I think we like to rotate, but
we do like to rotate. Yeah, we like to be fair around here. Did you already assign our characters to us?
Sure.
I thought I did when I picked them, but it deleted the names. So,
damn it.
How about we let Mrs. Thurman be potato so she can go first?
I like potatoes.
She loves potatoes.
They're delicious. Matt, since you're fat as fuck, you can be broccoli because it's ironic.
Obviously.
And then Nate, you can be celery because it's negative calories, and I think that's cool.
Thank you. I don't think there's a connection, but that's good.
And then when we get to Final Jeopardy, I guess you guys will just have to text me your wager.
I think that's how we did it last year. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if you're listening at home, I'll just, after each question, I'll read off the running tally for you. Or if you don't give a fuck, then that's cool too, which you probably don't. You just want to hear the questions.
Just listen along and hear us be idiots.
All right, Mrs. Thurmond, what would you like to select? As is tradition when you go first, of course, everything is wide open.
All right, let's do 90s movies plots for 300, please.
All right, and just to clarify, how do we do it if she gets it wrong? Is it next in line, like reverse order gets to steal, or is it whoever knows it? Because we don't know who knows her.
Behind you?
Yeah, the next person usually gets to steal. That's how we play it, as like a little twist, just to keep it interesting.
So the person who would go next?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then in this case, that would be Matt.
That'd be me.
All right, 90s movie plots for $300. Here's your question. Jake Shuttlesworth has spent the last 6 years in prison after accidentally killing his wife in a domestic violence dispute. How do I mute this music? There we go. Leaving his son, star basketball prospect Jesus Shuttlesworth, to fend for himself. What is this 90s movie?
I think you made that name up.
All
Shuttleworth?
Jesus,
As Thor would say,
Shuttleworth?
all names are made up.
Oh, wait. You really did make him up?
No, these are the real names from the movie.
Okay.
He took an actual plot, yes.
She's like,
That's the answer. This is a false plot. I mean, that's a bold strategy.
Is it Jesus or Jesus?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Okay. Let's go. What is One Tree Hill?
Great guess. Not correct. All right. Geiger, what is it?
What is He Got Game, starring Denzel and Ray Allen?
Ray Allen.
Oh, given extra.
He Got Game. Ray Allen actually surprisingly good in He Got Game.
He is really good, yeah. And there's a lot of sex in it.
Once you made the sale, quit selling. All right, Geiger takes an early lead with $300, and now the board is his. So if you miss this, then Nate would be up to steal.
Let's keep it
And if he misses,
in
it'll
90s movies plots for 200.
90s movies plots for $200. An insurance salesman discovers his whole life is actually a reality TV show.
What is... Shit. I don't even want to say what I'm thinking because then Thurman could guess it.
Oh, please get it wrong.
I know. It's fucking the Jim Carrey movie.
I think I know this one.
What is the Truman Show?
That is correct. What is?
I did not know this one.
What'd you think it was?
It's almighty out of my head for some reason, even though that plot is like totally wrong.
Yeah.
No, in the
There was
Cable
actually-
Man, he's
there
a
was
Cable
this-
Man.
And then, like, remember the comedic version of it was Ed TV with McConaughey in the 90s? It was like a...
Filmed on 30A in like Destin, Florida.
Oh. Truman Show or Ed TV?
Truman Show.
Oh, sweet. Didn't know that. All right, Geiger's up $500 to nothing for Nate and Ashley, but that's okay. It's early. All right, Nate, you're up.
Yeah, let's go comedies of the aughts for 400.
Wow.
Perfect. This category is built for you, so look out, people.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
If you get this wrong, Ashley gets to steal. Here's your question. In Pineapple Express, Dale and Red are having a conversation about reincarnation and say that if you are kind in your life, you will come back as an anal bead belonging to which celebrity?
Man, this is actually kind of a blind spot movie for me from that era.
Okay.
Oh God.
Geiger, do you know this?
I will in a second.
Okay.
I haven't seen this in a while. Maybe only seen it like once or twice.
This is
Anal-
this isn't really a spoiler. This is Danny McBride and Seth Rogen in the bathroom talking.
Yep. Anal bead. God, it could be so many. We're gonna. Okay, we're gonna go with who is Kim Kardashian?
Is not Kim Kardashian. Ashley, do you have a guess? This
I
is
have
tough.
a second.
It's a male, if that helps.
So it's not Blake Lively.
Fortunately, no.
Let's see. Male celebrity. Who is Ryan Gosling?
It is not Ryan Gosling. Geiger, do you know?
Who is Jude Law?
Yes. Who is
Oh,
Jude Law?
damn it. Geiger's going out to a big lead.
All right, early. That's okay. Early
Fine.
lead for Geiger.
It's fine.
He's like the Raiders. He jumps out early, and then we can catch him.
That's
after
true. I'm 17 nothing now.
Very topical.
All right,
He starts-
Ashley.
All right.
$900 to Geiger. No one else has gotten the board just quite yet.
Woo. Comedies of the aughts, 200.
Comedies of the odds for 200. Who plays the war veteran in Tropic Thunder who wrote the memoir the movie they're making is based on? This actually might be harder than $200. That's the hardest part when I make this is like
Name of the actor or the character?
I'll take either,
who
I guess.
plays?
Yeah, but
War veteran. Only person I can remember in that movie is who is Ben Stiller.
not Ben Stiller. He is a standout in that though.
He isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, to Geiger. Geiger, do you know this?
Who is Nick Nolte?
Yes. I think what we'll do is we'll do the Thurman's household
I'll
versus
throw the
Geiger.
character name.
I don't either, actually. It's
Nicholas.
something ridiculous, like lightning.
Like Stubbs or something, because he has no fingers or something like that. I can't
Well,
remember.
they think he doesn't. Yeah, and then they realize he's actually been like making it. All right, $1,100 to Geiger. The Thurman's waiting in the wings.
Let's do that Hansel. So hot for 200.
200. All right, so everything here is about an Owen Wilson movie. What famous comedian stars opposite Owen Wilson in the 2002 buddy cop movie I Spy?
I have no fucking idea. I've never seen this movie. 2002. Let's say The Rock. No.
The Rock?
Yeah.
At first I thought they said Barack, like Barack.
Barack.
I would pay big money
Probably
to see that.
Or no, that was still Bush. I don't know.
It is not The Rock. Nate, do you have a guess?
I will have a guess. I've never seen this movie either, and 2002. Oh God, comedian. Let's go with who is Chris Tucker.
No, it is not Chris Tucker. And I wanted to say close, but that would be racist. So I won't say it.
All right.
Ashley, do you have a guess? Very,
I'm going
very
to combine their guesses. Who is Chris Rock?
Wow.
Sorry, very close. Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
I was one off.
I've heard
Yeah,
of him.
You were both one off. He's in the middle. All right, who was that? Geiger's board?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so Geiger's up $1,100. Thurman's waiting to get on the board.
Everyone else is zero.
Nate, you're
That's
up.
fine. That's fine. We're gonna go 90s movie plots 500.
Woof! Turn up the heat. And
Yeah,
then
we
if you
gotta
miss-
get these out of the way.
Ashley gets to scoop it. All right, 90s movie plot. So this will just be the synopsis, and I think I edited out anything in the plot that like states something like a word from the title. So here we go. Jerry Lundegaard is a car salesman who has gotten himself into debt and is so desperate for money that he hires two thugs to kidnap his own wife. You and Ashley have seen this movie, I believe. Talked about it.
Hold on. Lundegaard, that sounds familiar. Two thugs to kidnap his own wife. Damn, nothing's really coming to me off the top of my head.
This is a hard one. It's a 500, so.
Yeah. Justifiably so. What is True Romance?
It's not True Romance.
Mm.
All right, Ashley, do you have a guess?
Oh, man. I don't feel like, how is this going to get him money? I guess, like, someone else will pay the ransom, not him?
I think her dad is rich,
Dad?
and her dad would pay the ransom. Yeah.
Who or what is the president's daughter?
No, although that sounds like a similar plot to another movie. Geiger, do you have a guess?
I've never seen this movie. Don't even know what it's about, but I remember it being popular at Blockbuster. I'll go with the whole 9 yards.
No, it is Fargo.
Okay.
I almost guessed that.
And I know the third
Well, because Lundgaard, like that sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember exactly what was happening in it. Dang it.
William H. Macy is Lundgaard, I believe.
That's unfortunate.
All right, $1,100 to Geiger. Thurman's waiting to get on the board. Ashley, you are up. Sorry if I made this too difficult. I can never tell.
Jerk.
Having fun.
Can I see the category, sir?
Comedies of the aughts.
Nathan had it where I couldn't see it. Let's do That Hansel Is So Hot for 100.
All right, you will definitely know this one.
Please be cars.
Grab your pupper. What 2008 tearjerker features Owen Wilson married to Jennifer Aniston and adopting a golden retriever?
What is Marley and Me?
What is Marley and Me? Bawled my fucking eyes out.
I have never seen it.
You still haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
Don't watch it. I'm crying just thinking about it. $100 to Ashley, $1,100 for Geiger. Thurman not quite yet on the board. All right, Geiger, you were up. What did you say?
Not as good as the book. Since Banner is here, I just thought that I should say that.
And then it's like, okay, Banner, did you read it? He's like, no, I just heard.
No,
I just heard the book was good.
Let's go with comedian or comedies of the aughts for 100.
Comedies of the aughts, 100. In Wedding Crashers, what dish is Chance Reinhold's insisting his mother prepare for him and John Beckwith?
The meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
What is the meatloaf? Fuck.
What is she doing?
Never know what she's doing back there.
Geiger's favorite line, and Chaz, pick up your fucking skateboard.
Pick up your fucking skateboard.
It's like 51 years old. All right, Nate, we're getting on the board right here. Yep, Geiger has 1,200, Ashley has 100.
Let's go 300 aughts.
Yep, here's your category. What is the name of Vince Vaughn's character in Dodgeball?
Okay, hold on. Oh God.
To me, it always sounded Canadian, but
wow.
This isn't a hint, but there is one line where White Goodman says a lot of alliteration to him using his last name.
Robo Jim. Oh God. Me saying Robo Jim actually didn't help at all because it made my mind go more blank. That hurt. Gary, Swimmy, Slappy, Swansea,
Gary is
Samsonite.
He's Gary, yeah.
Yeah. Vince Vaughn's character's name in Dodgeball is Dwight Goodman.
That is yeah. Ashley, do you know?
I do not, but let's go. What is Robin?
Great name. Just not his name in the movie.
That's a Canadian. How about your other?
Oh, that's true. Man, Geiger, do you know it?
Who is Peter LaFleur?
Yes.
LaFleur.
Have fun losing with your losers in Las Vegas, LaFleur.
Man, Geiger's sweeping up here.
I know.
You're disgusting, Matt. All right, Ashley, you're back up. $100 to you, $1,500 to Geiger.
Let's go 90s 100.
All right, 90s movie plots for $100. Los Angeles police officer Jack Angers, retired bomb squad member Howard Payne by foiling his attempt at taking hostages. In revenge, Payne arms a bus with a bomb that will explode if it drops below 50 miles per hour.
Wow, like I've never seen this movie, but I know the name.
Well, then say it.
I don't know the name. I mean,
oh.
How confusing, because you just said you did know the name.
I think I know. Like I can see like movie poster.
That
the
was
bus
a confusing,
that's going 50 miles per hour.
Just read the movie poster you're seeing in your head.
Is it What is Speed?
It is What is Speed.
Nice.
Keanu.
I didn't know if it was like a two-name title.
You're thinking of the sequel, Speed 2: Cruise Control.
I was getting confused with Speed 2.
Oh, of course, yeah.
If everyone gets shut out, we might have to call Cycling and reconstructing our business deal.
Our contract and everything.
Yeah. All right, so Ashley has $200. Geiger has $1,500. Geiger, you have the board.
I'm gonna steal this one from Geiger, whatever it is.
There we go.
Okay. Let's do that. Hansel's so hot. 300. I mean, I'm not going to 500. I just have to run the ball right now.
Exactly. You need the
I just don't want starters to get hurt.
Yeah.
Just gonna nickel and dime us.
In Zooland, oh, you'll know this. What artist does Owen Wilson's Hansel say the following quote about? Quote, the music he's making, I don't listen to it, but the fact that he's making it, I respect that.
Who is WWE Hall of Famer Sting?
Yes and no, but I'll get to it.
Sing songs occasionally.
I have a lot of idols. Sting, for example, the music he's making, I don't listen to it, but
The fact he's making it.
respect. All right, Geiger has 1,800. Ashley 200. Nate, here we go. Let's get it going.
Yep.
Come on.
Here we go. Swinging for the fences. Man, do I wanna...
No such thing.
We're gonna go 90s movie plots for 400.
All right, 90s movies plots 400. When a member of their crew gets arrested for killing a New York City police horse by feeding it junk food, 3 slackened stoners are forced to get off their butts and raise bail by selling pot stolen from a pharmaceutical lab.
Oh God.
The epitome of a stoner movie.
I've heard of this movie before. Like,
Oh, you've seen it. We've talked about it a lot.
I know. I'm sure I've seen it.
Damn it, Nate. I want to give you. There's.
Hold on.
always
I
say-
think I almost had it. What is No, what is fuck? No, I think I know what I know the clue you're gonna give me because hold on.
Yeah.
What's the clue he's going to give you? Tell us that.
It's a line in it, but I don't want to say it yet.
In fact, we said it I think last weekend when we were together.
Yeah, I know.
Do it. Say it.
God. What is half baked?
Yes.
Fuck.
What was the
Do you remember
clue?
the quote?
Fuck you,
you,
fuck you,
fuck you.
fuck you. You're
You're
cool.
cool.
I'm out.
Fuck you. That's when he
I
quits
forgot
fighting.
that was the premise of Half Baked.
I know, because there really is no plot to it. It's like,
No, me too. But I was just like, God, it's got to be a classic stoner movie. And I was like, okay,
yeah.
got this.
All right, that was big. So Nate now has 400, Geiger 1,800, Ashley 200. Ashley, you have the board.
Oh,
Not much left.
All right.
3 questions.
whoa, Nathan, you're moving all over the place. Let's go. That Hansel is so hot.
For 400? Okay. In which film does Owen, this is kind of a tough one, play an Air Force pilot shot down in Bosnia trying to escape? A very rare, serious movie for him.
Okay. I hope it gets to me. I know this one.
Do you?
Yeah.
You sure?
I
That
like
is-
this movie. I don't think it's bad. People laugh at it, but I think it's,
I'm like 98% sure I know this one.
yeah, probably.
Hmm. What is Maverick?
No, I mean, no, but great Air Force pilot.
Maybe that was his call sign. I don't know.
I have.
Cool. Geiger, do you know it?
Maverick Western is phenomenal too with Mel Gibson. I have no clue. I'm not even gonna venture a guess.
All right, Nate, to you. This could be big if you get this.
What is behind enemy lines?
Uh-oh, here he comes. With the great Gene Hackman as well.
Boom.
All right. Ashley has 200, Geiger 1,800, and Nate Thurman 800. Geiger, you are up.
Here we go.
Comedies of the Odds 500.
Comedies of the Odds 500. At the beginning of Superbad, what porn website does Evans suggest Seth purchase a subscription to when he goes off to college? Because if his parents see it show up on a credit card bill, he can tell them, quote, it's a bowling website, end quote.
Oh shit, I have no clue.
This is the opening scene, if you can remember, when he's driving him to school. It's not Vagtastic Voyage, I'll tell you that, because that's one of the...
Oh, Big
He's
Ball.
like, I want something with a little production value.
What is bigball.com? I have no clue.
Good guess. Nate, do you know it?
I don't think so, but I'm gonna try and take a guess here. Bowling website. Okay, let's get all the dirty bowling puns out here. Fuck. What is 2 in the hole?
Great guess. That's actually better than the actual answer. No. Ashley, do you have a guess? It's a way to describe like a hot girl.
Let's do bowling.
In bowling and a hot girl. What is the strike zone?
Good guess. It is perfect 10. I don't know if you think.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
All right. I still got a chance here.
So a respectable way to
We're
describe
thinking
it.
like way too dirty.
Yeah, you guys.
I know. I was thinking dirty too.
All right, last one. That Hansel is so hot for 500, Nate. What director has Owen Wilson worked with an astonishing 7 times, including on his first film, Bottle Rocket?
Who is Wes Anderson?
Wow, yes. Didn't even fucking hesitate.
Nope. No, I love Wes Anderson.
I think he might be in like legitimately every Wes Anderson movie.
Probably.
At least the last 15 years.
He's in a lot of them.
All right.
There we go.
Final Jeopardy time. So Nate, you have 1,300, Geiger 18, and Ashley 200. So if you can text me real quick your wagers, I will enter them in. Or I guess you could say them out loud. I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
I'm texting it.
Okay.
Give me.
Oh, I text you first, right? My wager, and then we get the clue. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's popping up on my screen. Sorry.
Is it?
Yeah, because I.
Oh, I think I have it zoomed in. I couldn't even see it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I haven't seen any of them.
Is it because it zoomed in?
Probably. Yeah.
Go-
Maybe
go to the
that's
top.
good.
Ignore that last text. Yeah, we can't see it.
Okay, good. All right, wagers are in. The broccoli, being Geiger, who is in first place, has wagered 600 of his $1,800.
Oh, he's trying to make.
Pussy.
Nate Thurman has wagered 1,300 of his, and then Ashley Thurman has wagered all 200 of hers.
Put it all out there.
All right, so the issue with this website is on Final Jeopardy. So you're gonna have to help me with the math, because it only lets one person get the correct answer on Final Jeopardy. But typically whoever gets it right gets that amount that they wagered, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll just have to help me with the math if multiple people get it right. All right, I'm gonna hit play now, and it will show the question, and then I guess everyone just text me your answer for this, right? That's the best way to do it. All right, question is, whenever it loads, what was the directorial debut film of Michael Bay? First movie he ever directed, and it is one you've heard of, so it's not like a weird, obscure art house film. The great Michael Bay. Film auteur. No, Matt's a big Michael Bay head.
Wait, I might switch. I don't think you did that.
You can do that on the show. They scribble it out.
You still have time, yeah.
These guests.
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
I don't feel good about my answer.
Is everyone's correct or final answer in?
Yeah,
Looks like Ashley's typing, so.
Oh, it does?
he's texting Banner.
What book did you read?
All right, so
No, about Michael Bay. He's like,
We'll go with
he's probably
Geiger.
having dinner right now with Michael Bay. That's why he's not on pod.
Geiger
Sorry,
and
looking at pajamas.
Geiger ended up going with Armageddon. Nate Thurman went with Armageddon as well. And then Ashley Thurman went with the movie that I wish was directed by Michael Bay, just picturing his version of it. She went with Free Willy.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be sick, actually. Willie would be like jumping over like
It is a
explosions.
movie like that, though. It's something that is stupid before it, just like James Cameron did, like fucking Point Break.
Yeah, that's true. Before they like got like so up their own ass. The correct answer, no one actually got it right, is Bad Boys. The original Bad Boys from 1995.
I know he did the second one. I didn't know he did the first one.
Yeah, he's doesn't let anyone else touch the Bad Boys franchise.
Wow.
That means that our winner, getting $1,800 real dollars from the Thurmans, because that's how it works, is Matt Geiger.
Wow.
Congratulations to you. Honor to Alex Trebek. Ashley Thurman, thank you so much for being a trooper and playing at literally the last second.
Because someone had a bocce ball tournament to go to. I wish I was making that up, but
that's too specific.
But it's not.
Bocce ball playoffs.
Bocce ball playoffs.
You play hurt in bocce ball playoffs.
Now I had to look up like stuff, and yeah, here she did the Bad Boys and then The Rock before Armageddon.
Oh, but he did Free Willy too. Do you not see that?
He's like, let me see what this franchise is all about, then I'll fuck with it.
I was half wrong.
Yeah.
He did
Really too.
Free Willy 2.
I thought he did Independence Day, but then I was like, no, he didn't. Never mind. I'm just thinking of a CGI fest.
If Armageddon was only his third movie, he probably didn't have like an insane budget for it either.
Thank you for your time, wife.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I expect my $200 later.
Yeah, that's coming from Horns.
Yep.
He's getting it to you.
Actually, I think what do you get for third place? Like 1,000?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Actually, Banner runs our financials, so I have to run through him.
Perfect. No problem. Shouldn't be an issue. All right. Thank you guys for playing. Big time rip to Alex Trebek. We now move on to the second part of our show, which is our protein shake, where we go around and talk about what's in our cup, also known as what have we watched lately. Geiger, I'm very curious because people who've been listening to the pod for a while know you finally caved and made a big decision. So I'll let you go first. I don't know if you want to talk about anything related to that decision, but it's a new era in the Geiger household, isn't it?
Right. It is, isn't it Super Tuesday? Is that what they call it?
I think so.
Or Big Tuesday. I honestly thought that was a college basketball term for my whole life until some of my political friends were like, no, dude, they stole it. But big decisions were made today. I made the biggest decision of all. No, I didn't vote, but I did purchase Disney Plus because my kid was sick for like 5 days. And I finally just threw my hands up in the air and be like, dude, I have no more toys. I can't entertain him. So what have I watched on Disney Plus? Well, the first thing I watched was, I don't know if it's the original Robin Hood, the cartoon Robin Hood with the fox. My kid loved that.
Nice.
Fucking fantastic. Brought back a lot of good memories, a lot of good tunes in there too. We always talk about Disney movies for their tunes. That one has a couple pretty good ones. Enjoyed that. I had him watch Lion King, which he's seen a couple times. He watched that for about 20 minutes. We watched the Incredible Hulk cartoon show because he loves the Batman cartoon show, and he got a bunch of Incredible Hulk like action figure stuff for his birthday. He's been big into Hulk, so he's watched that. I have watched Boy Meets World.
Sorry, is that the new Hulk one that almost looked like Halloween themed or something?
This is the one we watched.
Okay. With like the kind of shitty animation?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Spider-Man.
Okay. And X-Men, sort of? Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched Boy Meets World. I've got about a couple seasons on that, which is fantastic.
So good.
Watched Smart Guy, which is really good. A couple episodes of Even Stevens. And
is that show as funny as I remembered?
It's good, and it's just really cool to see Shia LaBeouf. Like, I've always been a big fan of Shia LaBeouf. And he's fantastic in that show, and it's kind of cool to see, you know, even I've never watched a High School Musical, but it would be kind of cool to see where actors start, you know, with Efron, Thelma and Louise with Brad Pitt. And I really got caught up on Disney Channel original movies, watched Alley Cat Strike, The Luck of the Irish, which is just an awful movie.
Yeah, so bad.
And Horse Sense with the Lawrence brothers. which is also
There's
just-
another
Oh,
Lawrence Brothers.
wow.
There's another Lawrence
that's
Brothers
an
one where
oldie.
like
That was like one of the first ones they did.
what's the Lawrence Brothers one where the youngest one clones himself?
That one's on there too. I haven't dipped into that one yet. And then I watched Double Team. Do you remember that about the Bird sisters? It's a true story. They
Yeah.
played
Oh yeah.
the WNBA.
Basketball players?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one can give me shit for not supporting the WNBA because I watched a Disney Channel original movie that took place back in 2002 about two WNBA players. So
Mhm.
but that's what I fucked with on Disney Plus. Nothing new at all.
I kind of like that you're like a purist. So you didn't even go back to Brink or Johnny Tsunami yet?
No, those are title tracks. I want the deep cuts, Jeff. I mean, shit.
I mean,
I
that
have
is true.
Brink in the
Oh, really?
last 5 years. Johnny
That was-
Tsunami, maybe two. I can't remember, but
Brink was definitely 100% the first movie I watched when Disney Plus came out, and Johnny Tsunami was pretty close after.
Alley Cat's pretty good, dude. Like
We did a commentary over that a while back.
We did. Another like good. It's probably too late now because Halloween's over. But one of my favorite DComs that's I think super underrated is Geiger. It has Caroline Rhea from Sabrina in it, and it's Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. Do you remember this one?
Yeah, tell me about that. And isn't Fred Savage in that?
No, it's I don't know the kid's name, but he's in like a ton of shit for Disney. And then the vampire in the movie is first off, Lizzie McGuire's dad is like Van Helsing in the movie.
Okay.
The guy from all the Porky's films. And then the vampire is like the main guy, the British dude from The Nanny with Fran Drescher, if you remember him.
I do.
He's actually a really good actor. And he's pretty creepy in that.
Huh.
Man, I'm with Boy Meets World, Smart Guy, like a lot of these, like me and my wife were watching, and just those campy '90s family, like I dig them. I really like them. It's not a thing anymore. Like Modern Family kind of did a spoof of it almost.
Uh-huh.
It was more, but instead of campy, it was more like acting driven, even though it was a comedy. But those are just gone, and I miss them. Even like Full House, like that shit. I mean, I could fucking just watch that all day.
Yeah. And then if you want, like, for us, the animated shit on there, like X-Men, the animated series, the Spider-Man animated series, Darkwing Duck and DuckTales are really good.
Bluey with my kid. He's big and Bluey.
Nice. Is Bluey on Disney Plus or is that a Netflix thing?
No, it's on Disney Plus. It's a Disney show.
Oh, shit.
I'll say, man, just for something I just started, like a streaming service, I can't name a better streaming service in the first 2 weeks than Disney Plus. Just
if you have a kid, it's probably the most kid friendly of all of them, I would have to say.
Not only kid friendly, but it just has so much, sometimes I'm like flipping around after a week on a streaming service. I'm like, okay, what should I watch now? Disney Plus, I'm like bookmarking in my head. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this first, and I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna watch this. And HBO Max was, okay, but I guess because the age we are, this is just a huge nostalgia fucking shot in the vein. But there's just so much stuff on here that I'm like, my God, like this was coming home from school, make myself a PB&J, and just like watching Boy Meets World, Smart Guy, Even Stevens, and I'm just like, okay, now it's like 7 o'clock. I gotta do my homework.
I'm just so happy that he finally caved.
I'm really glad that I didn't listen to you guys, and I finally just decided to listen to my heart. And
yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah,
I honestly laughed
about Obi-Wan and the Mandalorian. Like, dude, I just had sex for the first time. I'm not ready to do like a gangbang yet. I mean, I'm just dipping my toe in this. So just give me time before I touch the Star Wars tab. Right now, I'm just on Disney, but
sure.
There's a Fox 20th Century Fox tab, right? Is all the X-Men on there?
All that stuff's on Hulu right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But actually, they have some of the X-Men, and I actually think Deadpool's even on there, and like Daredevil. But they have like the parental like advisory thing next to it.
You got the Affleck Daredevil?
No, they have like the Netflix show. Daredevil.
Oh, okay. I'd like to rewatch that actually.
That's on. I just recently watched that and talked about it. It's on HBO Max for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay.
And it's really bad.
Yeah.
It's one of the cheapest streaming services too.
That's the thing that like I don't get is it's literally I have the bundle which is ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, and it's still $10 less than Netflix. For all
that's
three
insane.
For me, but HBO Max is my highest one, and that's going to be gone at the first of the year. It has too many Christmas movies for me to get rid of it right now. But after that, now that House of Dragons is done,
for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once it comes back, I'll get it. But I'm like, I have nothing that's gonna hook me.
Well, Disney Plus alone, you have Jingle All the Way, The Santa Claus, and Home Alone. So, and I'll be for Christmas.
HBO actually has Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, and there's another one on there. I think I can't remember what it is.
8-Bit Christmas, which came out last year, which we loved.
Pretty solid. Yep.
Good shit. All right, Geiger. We're gonna need another report next week on.
Okay.
Disney Plus.
That's all I watch.
That's pretty cool.
Another thing that I'll talk about later.
'Tis the season. All right, Nate. What have you seen lately?
I'll start off with this one because we can do. I don't think we talked about this since the first season ended that I know of, but we can talk about it since there'll be some crossover with Geiger here. But the House of the Dragon, I haven't talked about it since it finished. Did I, or did Geiger?
I don't think anyone has. I texted Geiger because I wanted his thoughts, but he hadn't. It was like the day after the finale, and him and his wife hadn't seen it yet. So
I finished it now.
Okay, nice. But yes, I mean, honestly, the last episode was a little underwhelming, and I think that may be because I had some high expectations for what I thought was going to happen. But with that being said, the last 5 minutes really picked it up, and I think set it up really well for the second season, which unfortunately is going to be like 2024, was the latest report. But
does that mean they haven't even started filming? Because you have to, when you order the show, you know people are going to like it, or at least.
Oh yeah, I don't think they've started filming yet. They'll probably start filming next year sometime.
I don't know if they're sure about this one though.
What do you mean?
I think they're waiting to see how the first season went.
They already greenlit a second season.
No, I know, but Jeff's asking why it's already been shot. I think it's because they're waiting to see it because people had such a bad taste in their mouth after.
Oh yeah.
They're probably like, okay, let's make sure before we spend all this fucking money, we'll do one season, but before we start shooting two, let's just like make sure. And I think people are invested in it.
Oh, 100%. It's gotten such a better reception than I thought it was going to because, I thought it was going to have a really bad audience review after what happened in the last season of Game of Thrones. But it's so far away. So the characters, you can kind of disassociate yourself with them, but it's still in the same realm, and you still have like the same like king and hand and queen and all this stuff, and you got the King's Guard and all that. So it's still very familiar. And one thing I will say, I don't know if I said this on the pod when I reviewed any of these, don't look at the Targaryen family tree on the internet because you will spoil yourself.
Really?
But I know Geiger, I think you already know how it all ends or whatever. You like went ahead and looked or read the books or something.
No, I don't know how it. I definitely didn't read the fucking books. I don't know how it ends. Because the names are so weird. But see, I don't know who would be Khaleesi's bloodline yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can have a guess just because the color of the hair, but I don't.
I mean, you kind of. I mean, you can kind of guess like current characters like. That one of these current characters is her great grandmother and great grandfather, but like 7 greats.
Is it 100 years before?
175, yeah.
Oh, 175. Okay, so that'd be what, 3 generations?
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yes. Several. I mean, I don't know like how long their average lifespan is, but yeah, probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about the same as.
Are the white? This is such an ignorant thing to say, but are the White Walkers in this at all?
No. They're referenced slightly, but there's not much time spent on them since it's so far in the future.
So would you like, and is the success of the show probably more contingent on it focusing just on the Targaryens?
Sorry, what was the question?
So like it's called House of Dragon, obviously. The Targaryens are like the dragon tamers or whatever. So they're not going to, and this isn't a complaint, I'm just asking to get the premise of the show. They're just going to focus on their house.
I They're the main focus for sure, but it's kind of cool, and I think I mentioned this on one of the other reviews of one of the episodes or when I was watching it. You get some of like the older houses, like the Valerian house, which you didn't even see like in the regular Game of Thrones, but you hear about a lot about them because you get like Valerian steel, which is really popular, very strong steel that swords and knives are made out of. So you get to like see insight into them, and now they've kind of started sprinkling in like House Baratheon, like the last episode. Which was the main king in Game of Thrones, Robert Baratheon. So they're starting to sprinkle in some other ones. Targaryens are the main focus point. But yeah, they definitely bring in other houses for sure.
Lannisters have been in there. The Starks, they're going to go probably episode 1 of season 2.
They mentioned them in the last one briefly, yeah.
I think this season 1, is better than season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Wow.
And I like fighting, don't get me wrong. I like blood, I like all this shit. But I would rather it mean something. I like the story behind it. Even as a wrestling fan, like I want a story behind the match to make me invested in it. And this has just been this hasn't been put on the grill like Game of Thrones. This has been put on the smoker, and you got to give it time to fucking marinate.
That's a really good analogy.
That's a good way of describing it.
I love it. It's a different change of pace. Someone doesn't die every fucking episode. I'm really invested in this, and the actors they got now going forward with the kids and everything, I really dig. You know, it was kind of easier to follow, even though they're changing actors, just because it's one family. Game of Thrones, the first season was a fucking head scratcher sometimes on who's this person. This is a weird name. I'm supposed to know this person. I think I've seen him, but I can't fucking remember. This is not an easy story, but an easier story to follow along because it's one house and there's other families involved, but it's just one house. And the only problem I have with it is, you know, it's like there's a character for every type of person in the world, you know, depending on, you know, if you're a woman, if you're a man, if you're whatever. I wish there was like a more badass ass kickers just because it's medieval times. That's the only problem.
Jason Momoa type.
Well, it's just there's women that control the whole thing, and that's not how it was back then. I know this is a fictitious story, but I wish that we only have Daemon and that's it. And that was the problem with Game of Thrones too, is they got rid of all those guys, and then like people like fucking or the wheelchair kid and the fat Tully kid were like the main characters. And like, dude, these guys wouldn't fucking survive a day in this thing. But
yeah, it's interesting because like you have Daemon, who seems to be a pretty good fighter, and then one of the King Viserys and Alicent's sons with the eye patch now. He seems like he's a good swordsman and a good fighter, but you don't have like that hound figure. You don't have the mountain figure, like those big badass fighters that you're talking about. So it's a little different contrast, and I'd like to see someone introduced like that.
I will say, do you think Daemon is the Night King?
Man,
looks like him.
That would be badass.
He
like I'm waiting.
Like White Walker. Like
I know. I'm waiting for.
I always thought they were Targaryens because they had like white hair.
Yeah, I just don't know if like the Night King was like way before their time even, but I'm still waiting for that like Game of Thrones like big tie-in. That could be it, like down the road, maybe season 3 or 4. I think it'd be really cool, and I think I talked to this about with another buddy off pod, but like the end of this series, like ending with the birth of Jon Snow, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
sick.
I will say though, the last episode I thought was really cool, and they're just doing subtle stuff that's different. And the first season it was like, oh, you had a dragon, that's fucking awesome. Now everyone has dragons, but then you really saw in the last scene the size of the dragons that matter. You know, society. I mean, that was a cool little, because I'm like,
I had no idea.
I had no idea. I'm like, dude, that dragon's way fucking bigger than that. Like,
it was insane.
Fucking like pit bull and like a chihuahua almost in the air. It was very invested in the show.
But yeah, really good. But yeah, we spent enough time on that. We can move on from that one. But yeah, really liking it so far.
And then season 2, you said is what, 2 years away probably?
Yeah, they're saying 2024, so we got some time.
Jeez. All right, I'll rattle off a few of these I watched. I saw the first Marvel Studios special presentation on Disney Plus, which are like these one-off, like 40-minute things they're doing There's a Guardians of the Galaxy one coming up, a holiday special, which looks really good. But this one was Halloween predicated. It was called Werewolf by Night. I don't know if either of you guys saw this. It was actually directed by Brian Banner's maybe favorite going composer now, his directorial debut of Michael Giacchino, which if you look up like pretty much any blockbuster, like the Batman, all the Jurassic World movies, like he's done the scores for all these fucking things. This is the first thing he directed. And dude, people are fucking raving about this, and I fucking dug it. It's dark, it's violent, it's in black and white, but not in like a douchey, like Roma artistic kind of way. And the premise of it is it takes place in the MCU, but like a distant corner of it. And this famous monster hunter named Elias Bloodstone has died. And he has this weapon called the Bloodstone that he wants to give to whoever wins a competition in his honor after he died. So they release a monster on the grounds of this mansion, and they bring in like 8 of the most famous monster hunters in the world. And the goal is it takes place in one night, and it's whoever can kill the monster first gets the Bloodstone. And it's pretty fucking cool.
So is this a Marvel comic?
Yes, Werewolf by Night was actually one of the first Marvel comics, and the first one that Blade was introduced in.
Okay, awesome.
Interestingly enough. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like 45 minutes. It's like super violent, and it just really was like perfect to watch during Halloween. Yeah, definitely don't watch this one with the kid, but you would like it, Matt.
That does sound badass, and that's what a streaming service is supposed to do. That I think a lot of people, Netflix has kind of forgot. Like, dude, I can illegally download fucking Good Luck Chuck. Like, give me something original, something I haven't fucking seen before, and it doesn't have to be like, you know, a blockbuster cinema, holy shit, you know, it could just be as simple as a documentary or something like this. Just for
to your point, this thing, if it weren't for Disney Plus, it wouldn't exist. Like, where else would you put this? Not in theaters. I'm not buying the DVD, you know.
That's what's great about streaming and, you know, YouTube or anything. There could be a podcast or like a documentary for some type of small niche shit that you could do very low budget, but a lot of people will watch it just because there are people that are into that.
Oh yeah, and like it was right before Halloween. Like you log in, and of course the advantage for these streaming services is they have so much data on what we watch. Remember we used to joke about how Netflix probably thought we were sick fucks because all we watched was like The Punisher and Daredevil on repeat. But we log in, it's like, you want to watch Werewolf by Night? It's 42 minutes and it's Halloween centric and like kind of a new thing. I was like, fuck yeah, I do. Play. Perfect. One other thing I watched, speaking of streaming services, Matt, I don't know if you heard of this. This is based on a true story, and the cast is pretty good. It has Naomi Watts, Shooter McGavin is in it. I think Michael McDonald's his name. Jennifer Coolidge, who's Stifler's mom, who's kind of had like a resurgence here in the past few years. And Bobby Cannavale, and it's called The Watcher on Netflix. About the true story about this couple in like I think it was like 2010, who moved into this pretty nice house in upstate New Jersey. And they started getting these letters in the mail claiming that someone was like obsessed with their home and was like watching the house. And like all this weird shit starts happening, and they start to get a little bit paranoid. Like they think every one of their neighbors is like somehow involved and shit like that. And basically the series, which we actually kind of blew through it. It's like 8 40-minute episodes, but it details like all the different suspects that they have and then these weird theories that they come up with. And it sort of ends up being like are they so paranoid that like their neighbor might just be like, "Hello, Tom," and in their head they envision it as like their neighbor like threatening them or something. So it's sort of like the unreliable narrator. Like, are they going crazy versus what's actually happening? I think I liked it. I would probably recommend it just because
make
like,
an assessment.
I know the ending is kind of the ending is interesting.
Okay, I've heard some good things about this.
Don't Google it though, because it's based on a true story, and obviously if you read like how it ended, that will kind of take the wind out of the sails of the show, I think.
Okay.
After you watched it, did you YouTube like the news clippings of the true story?
Absolutely. That was actually like the thing I was most looking forward to. I was like, can we fucking finish this so I can get on the internet?
Yeah, I did that for Making a Murderer also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where we're at with, and it's not like true crime. It's probably true crime adjacent because the story's It's like almost 10 years old at this point, which is actually better because I like to be able to go online and find like any information I want. And the theories about this, Matt, you're like a good conspiracy theory. Like there's some fucking wild theories.
Okay, I would like to watch this because I love being the human. You know, we're like the smartest beings ever, right? Like we're like, dude, you know, the news lies to us and tries to do their own narrative, and then everyone watches Making a Murderer. It's like, can you believe this guy's in fucking jail? He's innocent. This documentary showed it to me.
It's like you're.
We are.
Yeah,
and, you know,
we live in the world we want to live in.
You have a cool score in the background, and these people are like, dude, he was on the couch when, you know, that girl got raped. I'm like, shit. Well, why? You know, his grandma said he was on the couch. Let's fucking let him out.
All the proof I need. But the thing
grandma.
about the show, and I do appreciate this about Netflix, I think Netflix does this better than most streaming services. I can't speak for like HBO Max, who actually still drops their stuff weekly, but Netflix drops the whole series. And they will still end every episode with a fucking cliffhanger, even though they don't need to. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'll just click next. But I got to give the show credit, dude. Every episode ends like you're fucking leaning forward in your seat, like, holy shit.
you gotta have that break point between every episode.
When do I pee? When do I, you know, get up and refill my beer? When do I scratch my balls? I guess I can do that during the show.
Never 6.5 hours straight. You have to do it.
So The Watcher, and one other real quick, like, funny anecdote. My brother-in-law, he and I were going to a hockey game like 2 weekends ago, and we were in the car, and he's like, yeah, man, I just watched The Watcher on Netflix. I was like, oh, dude, what'd you think about the ending? I thought this. He's like, what the fuck? I don't see how any of that happened at the end of the show. Turns out there's a 2021 movie called The Watcher that he was talking about, and I was talking about the show. So we were both like, how did you get that out of the ending?
Close.
Because we watched something totally different. Which is kind of annoying.
That's funny.
All right, let's do one more loop around. Geiger, what else have you seen, or is that all your stuff from Disney Plus?
I mean, I got two more things. I'll go really quick.
Please do.
The one is, can you guys believe that I'm watching an NBC show?
Is that
On Peacock, or like you're actually like tuning into NBC at night to watch it?
Well, yes and no to both. I mean, yes on Peacock, but like an actual commercial NBC show.
in this day and age?
All right. I'm shocked, but I guess depending on what it is.
In this economy?
Yeah. I'm watching Young Rock.
Wow.
Really? I
Okay.
would have said you would die before you would watch the show.
Phenomenal. Now, okay. So, sorry, what'd you say, Jeff?
I said I would have guessed you would say you can cut my fucking eyes out of my head before I'll watch Young Rock.
Okay, you as a wrestling fan, I've always liked The Rock. I mean, he's one of the greatest ever.
As a wrestler, you don't really like him as an actor, right?
As an actor, I liked him at first, and then now he's just, you know, I don't blame him, but I really like his projects he does. Like, I love Ballers. There's some other, you know, I love his Instagram, like, workout.
He's a good producer, I feel like.
But this is phenomenal. Now, I think you have to be kind of a Rock fan to appreciate it, but
So, sorry, is the jumping off point of this actually more about like his dad?
it's just about, okay. So remember the Kaepernick thing I talked about?
The documentary on him?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a documentary. It was him talking about it.
Oh, that's
But-
right. Yeah.
But a person was playing him, and it was almost like an 80s, 90s sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what this is. And the kid actors are fucking phenomenal. Now, the other thing that's happening is this is set in 2032, and it's during his presidential run. And he's already done Jumanji 8. And he's
That's
done
hilarious.
this like Christmas movie where the villain is Ebenezer Scrooge's like great granddaughter, like because they've already done like 6 of them. It's fun. He's making fun of himself, which is like,
So see, I didn't know he had it in him to make fun of himself like that.
yeah. So the kid actors are phenomenal. It's about his dad, you know, going up in the wrestling scene, working for Vince in WWF, and then losing his job and having to do all these territories. You know, he doesn't have much money. His mom is his mom is like running a wrestling promotion with his grandma. His grandpa was a great wrestler. His uncles are great wrestlers. I don't know if
did his dad? His dad wasn't like a wrestler in like the early '90s, like heydays that we remember, right? Was he like before?
He was like the late '80s. Like he was part of like WrestleMania 2 and 3.
Okay, so he was
like,
before WCW became like more mainstream in the mid '90s. Then
what's great about it though is his mom's wrestling promotion. Like he grew up around Andre the Giant, Macho Man Randy Savage, Sergeant Slaughter.
Is Flair in it at all?
What's that?
Is Ric Flair in it at all?
Yes, all these people are in the show.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know, they call it the Great Samoan Dynasty, but I don't know if you like Yokozuna is related to The Rock. Rikishi is related to The Rock.
No way.
Roman Reigns is The Rock's cousin. The Usos right now are The Rock's cousin. So growing up, and then it goes into his Miami Hurricane days. They cast Warren Sapp. They cast Ray Lewis. They cast Dennis Erickson. They cast Uncle Luke from 2 Live Crew that goes to the games. They cast Michael Irvin. They cast like all these fucking people. And it's very interesting how he just talks about his life and how he, I fucking dig it. I'm like hooked on the fucking show. Now I'm a big wrestling nerd. So a lot of this, when he's going fishing with Andre the Giant and talking to Andre the Giant about some girl he likes in the 3rd grade, it's like really
fucking cool. Cast Andre the Giant? Like that just seems impossible.
I mean, all the casting in it is fucking perfect. Now, some of it's a little cartoony, but it's wrestling. So, and he's just now getting into the wrestling business and stuff, and it's really good. And someone that actually I enjoy listening to wrestling podcasts about their life on the road and all the steroids and drugs and stuff they did. Now, this is like more of a campy version of it because it's The Rock, but it's a very good show, dude. I would recommend you guys check it out.
Would you describe it as a comedy?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that was the premise of it. I thought it was more I thought it was like a Rock, like kind of self-promotion piece. I didn't know there was at all like tongue-in-cheek making fun of himself.
No, it's making fun of himself a lot. And what I love is the last episode, he was watching Royal Rumble 98 on pay-per-view with his dad and his 2 uncles. And he was just starting to get into wrestling training. And then this little kid comes up and like gets him in a chokehold. Anytime someone gets up, they freeze the frame and it says like their name and all their accolades. Like when Warren Sapp showed up on the first day of Miami campus, they're like, dude, 8-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer. And it says Joey Asaya. And then it's like, and he's just like, hey, cousin, let's wrestle. And it's fucking Roman Reigns as like a 3-year-old. Like all that stuff is cool from a wrestling fan that I'm like, dude, this whole family like was my childhood. Like I remember watching Yokozuna. I remember watching the Wild Samoans. I remember watching Rikishi. I remember watching The Rock. And now Roman Reigns is like the fucking top of the heap. And the Usos are with him, who are the twins, Rikishi's kids. I'm like, man, this is fucking awesome. It's really good.
That's cool.
The second thing I watched just really quickly, after football, there's something that just makes my stomach crawl about the 60 Minutes ticker. It just always reminds me that the weekend's over since I was a kid. Dude, and it's something that my grandparents watched. But I had to give my kid a bath, and I went back and watched it. And they were just talking about social media and how basically like they're just leaning into all this political shit and making people against us. And the biggest thing that got me is TikTok, which I always knew was a Chinese company.
Yeah.
But apparently TikTok everywhere else isn't the same as TikTok in China. And TikTok in China, the kids can only be on it for 40 minutes a day and it shuts off. And they see different videos than we do. And they see like videos about science experiments and like educational stuff. And American kids see videos about cats.
Yeah.
And when you ask the average kid now what they want to be, American kids say influencers and Chinese kids say astronauts. Like China's like trying to take over the country by making everyone else dumber and them smarter. And it's probably going to work in about 20 years.
That's genius, actually.
But isn't that kind of scary? That's like, hey, yeah, here's like, we made the greatest bread ever, but we have a different recipe than everyone else. Everyone else can fucking have this, which might be poisonous or something. That's like kind of scary to think about.
Oh, yeah. As a middle school teacher, I can tell you that TikTok is the only thing any of these kids care about.
It's not even Instagram anymore, is it?
No. It reminds me of in Fever Pitch when they go, "Where do the Red Sox rank in order of importance in your life?" And he goes, "I'd say Red Sox, sex, and breathing." That'd be like the kids would be like TikTok, breathing, and maybe talkies.
The
Flip
one
talkies.
interesting thing, like some of this being a conspiracy theorist, I already kind of knew, but it's like if someone said like, "Oh, so and so won the election by just the hair of their nose," no one's going to click on that. But if someone says so and so won the election by supposed cheated scandal, and then everyone's going to click on it. And I was like, but that's just a news headline. But now news is all about getting clicks and likes and everything. So you got to be controversial. You got to say like, so and so reminds me of Hitler. You can't just say so and so might have some different views than someone else, which is
Right.
a scary thing because you hear everyone regurgitate that, and it's like, dude, I don't think this person wants to kill every Jew on the planet. I just think they want to, save the water in the ocean.
Got to get those clicks.
Yeah. Clicks feed the family.
It's a very good piece, though. And like 60 Minutes, I don't really ever watch, but it was a really interesting thing about social media or how it's probably just going to take over us and kill us one day. But hey.
That is an interesting point. There's like a Pavlovian hate of 60 Minutes because, like you said, that ticker means that either like my show is being delayed on CBS or it means that football just ended and now, like the scaries are clicking.
Mason means the weekend's over. I have class tomorrow. I hate my life is what it means to me.
You're not wrong. All right, Nate, you got anything else?
Yeah, two things I'll touch on real quick here. Through a suggestion of a buddy at work, and I like going back and watching old movies on the Turner Classic Movie section in HBO Max quite a bit.
You're the guy on this pod that legitimizes us by going back and actually watching the classics.
I try, and I hope I've legitimized myself enough for watching these and actually liking quite a few of them to say that I didn't really enjoy this movie as much, and it was Cool Hand Luke. Paul Newman classic, from 1967. The acting, so acting in it was great. Paul Newman is great, and I'm not a huge fan of the story. And I can go into this one.
Plot to Cool Hand Luke? I have no idea.
Yeah, and there's I guess there is a plot, but it's basically, and I'll read it's a short synopsis on IMDb. A laid-back Southern man is sentenced to 2 years in a rural prison, but refuses to conform. And the reason he goes to jail is he's cutting the heads off parking meters, I guess, to get the change out of them, and he's drunk.
Sick.
That's what he's sent to this farm prison for, and he tries to escape. He never conforms to I read somewhere the Nazi guards that are at the prison camp. So he keeps trying to escape, and then at the end of the story, this came out in 1967, so I can't really spoil it for anyone. Fuck you if you haven't seen it. Sorry,
dude. Normally around the 60-year mark is when I get to a movie.
That is true. But there's something, he escapes and he gets shot at the end, and then they drive him off supposedly to a hospital, but they just drive him off. And he's smiling, and that's kind of the conclusion. No matter what happens, he never gets down. He's still that cool guy. He has a wry smile on his face. So you don't actually know if he dies at the end, but there's just not much that happens. He goes to the prison camp, tries to escape a couple times, goes back. They try and break him. He doesn't get broke, and then that's kind of the end.
Just the same song
I just
and
didn't
dance over and over.
I didn't get it. And like I said, I think Paul Newman is a great actor in this movie. There were some great moments in it, some very touching moments in it. His mom dies during it, and he has some touching moments playing a little banjo and singing a song, which was nice. And yeah, like I said, I'll go back to his acting was great, and I just didn't really enjoy the movie that much. It was weird.
It's fair. Lack of plot is normally something that makes it tough.
I love that he was cutting off parking meters. That's a misdemeanor.
It's
what do you for? And he's oh, I gave this guy a noogie for stealing the car.
It was $11 of change in this. Chill out.
It was such a random, and this never explained why he was doing that. He was drunk when he was doing it. And a few times it's pointed out that he was a war veteran, and I thought that was going to play into the movie somehow. It really didn't.
So why is that in there?
Like I said, there just wasn't much explanation on why things were happening, and I don't know, just wasn't that great of a movie for me. And then the other thing I watched just last night, actually, it came out in theaters a month or so ago. just came to HBO Max. It's the new Olivia Wilde movie, Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, I forgot that came out on HBO Max yesterday. I need to check that out.
What'd you say?
I want to hear your thoughts on it because it got destroyed. Like everything I've read.
I liked it.
Spoil it though, because I'm gonna check it out this week.
So that's the thing. I'll say, on IMDb right now has a 6.2. Not great ratings. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed this even more than I think Olivia Wilde's directorial debut, which was
Drinking Buddies?
Smart something. No, it was the two girls in high school. It was like the Smart Book?
Book Smart.
Book Smart. That one was okay. This one was much better, much different. But like the thing is, I was going to say is like I can't talk about this much without spoiling it, because there are some twists and turns. But her and Harry Styles are married in this in a 1950s setting. Olivia Wilde is in it.
Florence Pugh, right? Our girl Florence Pugh, is she good in it?
Yeah, I loved her. Yeah, I thought she did great. Chris Pine is in it as well. Olivia Wilde is married to Nick Kroll in it.
How would Nick Kroll ever pull off Olivia Wilde?
Exactly. It's like the King of Queens scenario. Like, how did he ever land her? Like, that would never happen. But I thought it was really good. It has a little different take on some topical things in the world right now. I'll say that right now. I don't want to get too far into it because it would give things away. But I think it's worth a watch. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a decently satisfying ending. And the journey along the way was good. I was going to say something else, but it's going to be too much of a spoiler there.
This is the film with a lot of backstory that Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be in this, right? And
she claimed she fired him, and then he actually had like video and like proof that he quit, and she like begged him to come back.
Was he supposed to play Harry Styles' character?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's like a big thing. I can't remember why he supposedly said he quit, and I can't remember why she supposedly fired him. And then also, Pugh and Wilde were supposedly at any media thing would not even talk to each other and fucking hated each other too.
They were on bad terms. And in fact, in the video that and Shia LaBeouf did say what you want about him. He doesn't really throw people under the bus, but he had to air out this dirty laundry to defend himself, I feel like. But the video he released that Olivia Wilde sent him, I don't know how she sent him like a video message, but in the video Olivia Wilde basically says I direct hard, and Florence Pugh is gonna have to figure that out the hard way, because Shia I think was like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm not gonna do this movie with you.
That's great. I actually didn't even know the backstory on all that. I know, Wilde and Wilde and Pugh weren't getting along. I think the rumors were because Pugh was friends with Jason Sudeikis, and obviously that's Wilde's ex. I think there was a little rift there, but that's all I had heard.
And she got served at an award show. Sudeikis. That was another thing, right, Jeff?
Ruthless. Yeah, ruthless.
Jeff, he didn't know when they were gonna serve her, though. Dude, I'm the fucking guy on that dorky soccer show that everyone's obsessed with.
I'm a victim too. Yeah, no, that's true. And so a lot of people said, by a lot of people I mean just like other reports that had come out, that Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles relationship on set was really unprofessional. Florence Pugh was uncomfortable because she would do a sex scene with Harry Styles, and then he in front of everyone would start making out with the director because they're dating. And Florence Pugh seems like she takes all her roles really seriously. She would be like, what am I supposed to do here? You guys are making
I thought she brought kind of some of the same vigor and acting skills, I guess be a good way of saying it, from her role in Midsummer. I got a few vibes from that, just from some of the scenes, the intense scenes she had to be in. I think it's definitely worth a watch. I would definitely recommend it to people. I think the twist is interesting enough to keep you going and not think it's too gimmicky. I thought it was fairly unique. Like I said, a little twist on some other things I've seen done.
I don't know what's going to end first, the NBA player GM or the actors coming directors. Not because a lot of them are bad directors, but just because of all the drama that comes. But I wanted on record that maybe give it 5-6 years, but you know how we'll see something and we'll be like, oh my God, that person's nuts or they're crazy. I always come back to this as the Tom Cruise, Matt Lauer interview. And now we see those two people in a totally fucking different light.
That's true. Yeah, who really is the crazy one?
Big apology. Because I think he's a phenomenal actor. I think he's a method actor. But Megan Fox is another one that everyone thought was fucking nuts and shit. And maybe she is, but they both said shit about Michael Bay. And now Shia left this, and everyone's like, well, it's because Shia LaBeouf's so hard to deal with. And now it's becoming out that maybe Olivia Wilde's kind of a bitch to work for.
Yeah.
And I think Shia LaBeouf, after a while, you're going to be like, dude, this guy was just, he's a little maybe, method actor-ish, and Megan Fox too. But Michael Bay is definitely a douche. I mean, there's a bunch of people that will fucking come out and say he's like the biggest douchey fucking handsy director ever. And I think he's going to be owed a big apology. And I hope he has a Robert Downey Jr. type of resurgence because he's a phenomenal actor.
Dude, he is incredible. That's actually not a bad comp, like Robert Downey Jr. That's very possible. I think the issue with Olivia Wilde, too, is like she's really only done one big movie before this. Like, you need to fucking relax.
Yeah. But I think this was shot really well. Like I said, it was a completely different movie than their other one. But yeah, from my standpoint, kudos to her because I think it was directed really well.
Matt, real quick.
The story I know behind it, I think, is more entertaining than the actual movie, maybe. I
think that's genius marketing, man. That makes you want to go see like what the fuck the actual product looks like. I feel like.
I mean, I would like to watch it. Yeah. I'm not going to go into it thinking it sucks or it's great or anything, but I just kept seeing it pop up on YouTube. Like, God damn, there's a lot of shit going on in this movie.
I forgot that it came to HBO Max yesterday. So I got to go check it out. Matt, real quick, a Florence Pugh connection. One of her first movies is produced by and written, I think, co-written by The Rock. It's called Fighting with Your Family. And Florence Pugh, have you seen it?
Parts of it. It's about Paige, who is a WWE star who did it's not really a porno, it was leaked, but she got literally tag teamed by two other WWE guys. Yes, I partook. I watched it a couple times.
Is that in the movie? Florence Pugh getting
No, she's not. She doesn't play Paige, but now Paige is on AEW. And she was married to Alberto Del Rio, another wrestler, but I think they had
that didn't work out? That's weird.
She's really slutty. I'm a big fan of her. We need Ashley to come back on so the female people say what they do.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you've probably ruined it for all of us.
Nate, you got anything else?
Nope, those were my last two things.
All right, I got three things. I'm going to run through these real quick. I saw, just getting ready for Halloween, this is an animated movie that has always sort of intrigued me around the Halloween season. Never really pulled the trigger till this year. Have you guys heard of Monster House?
Nope.
I've heard of it.
So this is on Hulu now. I think it was like 20th Century Fox a few years ago. Pretty interesting film, decent voice cast. Steve Buscemi, Kevin James, someone who I don't think has ever had sex, Nick Cannon. Isn't it? And it's basically, there is this haunted house across the street from these two kids, and their basketball goes rolling into the yard on accident, and the house like kind of eats it up, and they have to go in and get it. Seems pretty basic on the surface. Pretty crazy plot with a pretty cool like explanation of things at the end. My only issue with it is it's like this different animation, like cheaper Pixar animation that was pretty bad and I couldn't really get over. But overall, there's some pretty good laughs from like the fat friend. And again, the end, Steve Buscemi voices like the crazy neighbor across the street who owns the house. And so there's some Steve Buscemi-isms that are pretty fun. So I wouldn't recommend it now because Halloween season's over, but next year maybe give it a poke.
I'll put a reminder in my phone.
All right, these last two are also Halloween themed movies. One neither of you have seen, so I won't talk about it much at all. But Orphan First Kill. Now you read the title and it sounds like a Steven Seagal sequel. Orphan: First Kill. Orphan, the first movie, was incredible, starring Vera Farmiga. I loved it. Incredible twist at the end. This one is a prequel with the same actress playing the young girl, although now she's like 35. I didn't really get how that worked. Somehow they made it work aesthetically. And Cycly was like, dude, I was ready to laugh at this thing. There's a twist in the middle of the second act that's pretty fucking mind-blowing, like a place I did not think they were going to take the plot, and they do. And then Banner, who is not a big horror fan, also watched it. It's on Paramount Plus and made the same recommendation to me. So I watched it, and yeah, I was pretty fucking impressed with what they did. Genius premise that they reveal early enough to where it's like leads to a super interesting third act. And I was not expecting it at all. So if you at all liked the first one, I kind of rolled my eyes at this. It was a direct to Paramount Plus movie, but it's got some pretty fucking cool ideas. Orphan First Kill.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the last one, Matt, I got to say, dude, I remembered this movie being way better. And I think you're a big fan of this, but I went back and rewatched Halloween 2. The, of course, direct follow-up to the 1978 Halloween.
The original, yeah.
Dude, it sucks.
What?
It sucks. And the problem is, so like the cool spoilers for Halloween 2, the original one from 81. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. But the whole twist that Laurie is his sister, they do nothing with. Like someone mentions it briefly in a car ride with Loomis, and that's it. And to me, that's the coolest idea in the whole fucking movie. And they don't even like care to do anything with it. I was really, really disappointed in this on a rewatch. And I don't know the last time you saw it, but I feel like you would be
on Halloween.
You did? And it holds up still?
My wife was giving a bath and it was on, and I watched it. My mom was here and we watched it for a while, and yeah, man. Good flick. It wasn't like a big like dun 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 and they win anything with it. It was the fucking 70s, so they're just like, hey,
yeah,
let's make them brother and sister, which makes sense because she was the baby in the fucking crib.
Dude, I love the twist. I hate how the movie they kind of play it off like it's a one-line throwaway thing in the script. I'm like, dude, that's the fucking movie. Like, focus on that. They don't really
have it. Like, deliver it. That's the twist. Yeah. They just don't even do anything.
I like the Halloween franchise a lot, but revisiting this one, and this is probably more of a testament to like, I really like H2O. I like the new one. I love the original. This one's probably like my fourth favorite Halloween that I've seen.
Well, there's 28 of them, so that's still pretty good.
Glass is half full. I don't know. I guess because that twist idea is so fucking cool. When I rewatched it, I was kind of disappointed how they just like, oh yeah, and by the way, she's his sister.
Apparently, it's not that cool because it's fucking deleted from all canon ever. So,
true, that's a good point. All right, everybody, empty out their cup.
It's done.
All right, Brian's not here to do the squawky bird thing, but we end our show with our Do You Even Lift Bruh segment, which is our question and answer segment, where we pose a question, discuss it, and then leave it with you at home to comment below, let us know your thoughts. And we are counting down a continuous list of our top 100 movies of all time. As we continue here today, Nate, I believe, I don't know, do you have your list pulled up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you mind doing your 61st and 60th best movie?
Sure.
And then Geiger and I can each do 60.
Okie dokie.
And I guess before we dive in, Geiger, just tell the people at home, we do this every episode, but in case anyone's new, how would you describe these top 100 lists? Because they're not like a curated film student's guide to cinema, right? They're a little more unique to us.
Yeah, this is our top 100 list. So we could have Dumb and Dumber next to Citizen Kane. We could have, Banner saying that Journey to the Center of the Earth 2 is his 79th movie.
Why would you go back to the center of the earth?
Yeah,
been there, done that.
An Academy Award-winning movie. That has happened, literally. Banner was left off the pod for it. But who cares? That's his 100th movie, man. That's like, it's your list. It's not the 100 greatest movies. It's just a 100 movie that maybe reminds you of your third Christmas or your birthday or, your childhood or the first time you brought your wife to the movies or whatever it is, or the greatest movie you think you ever saw. It's your list.
Yep. Just to give you, I always like to just pick out like a random spot on our lists. Like, all right, what did everyone have at this number? And just as an example, number 82, each of our 82nd best films of all time. And again, this list is linked at the bottom of this podcast. Thurmond had the tearjerker Simon Birch.
Ooh.
Cycli had the Wedding Singer. Geiger had The Crow, the Jason Lee film. I had the horror movie The Strangers, and Brian Banner had Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So
it's a good list.
Great list. All right, Nate, your number 62nd best movie of all time was Coco.
It was.
What is your number 61? And just for some reference, Geiger's was Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Great inclusion. And mine was the Jordan Peele-directed Get Out. So what is your 61?
Mine, and I actually talked about this probably a couple months ago because I watched it. It was just in my protein shake. And I don't even know if this is on anyone else's top 100, which is the fun thing about these. But 1997 classic, The Titanic. That's making. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I just did this one on a protein shake recently on another episode. Well, I say recently, a couple months ago. Wanted to go back and rewatch it. It's long as fuck.
Yep.
But I think.
But somehow it doesn't drag, I feel like.
No, it doesn't. And it surprisingly goes through and like. You would kind of think like, oh, it's got like sappy romance and all this stuff, but there's enough intrigue and like Geiger said a second ago, like it depends on like when you first watch this, like when it came into your life, like at that time, like there was so much intrigue and I think there's enough of this in the movie that like really draws me back into it. Like the story behind James Cameron, like going down in a fucking submarine and like going down in the depths of the ocean, like seeing that shit and like really drawing to at the time, 9-year-old Thurman. Like, oh shit, that's really cool. It's like exploration, like not of space, but like another unknown in like the deeps of the ocean.
Kind of the beginning, I feel like, of Cameron's obsession with the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was like one of the things that like really drew me in. Like it's in the movie enough too. That's kind of cool. It's like, oh man, this is based on something that actually happened. And like they're actually showing footage of this shit. And then they actually get into the story and it kind of draws you in and makes you appreciate the actual movie a little more. And then at the end of the day, it's just a good film. Young Leo, kind of getting into his role. I'm sure when this first came out, everyone was like, "Oh fuck, this guy's gonna win an Oscar in like 2 years." May have taken
a lock.
20 years, but
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What's that?
He's given so many great roles. It's unbelievable if The Revenant was his.
Oh, I know. Oh, The Revenant's the one that wins it for him? Doesn't make sense.
It's a fine movie. He did great. He had to go freeze his ass off and like just to win a fucking Oscar.
He's literally like, I'm gonna have to die. Like that unless if I'm alive, you just won't give it to me, right?
I have to get fake fucked by a bear to win.
And and the person that scores all the time is like, the hero, but you gotta watch, the offensive lineman and the person that given the assist. Leo is, definitely more box office than that. But I hate how, Daniel Day-Lewis and Gangs of New York, Tom Hardy and The Revenant. I mean, they're phenomenal actors, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you can't, not include Leo in helping them in the roles and everything like that. I think Brad Pitt said it best when he won Best Supporting Actor for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. He's like, dude, working with Leo is such a pleasure. And he gets the best out of me that he's almost like that teammate that makes everyone else fucking better around him. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. He makes everyone like the Departed is a perfect example where he's around phenomenal actors the whole time, but he makes them better every time he's like in the scene with them.
I mean, he to me is the opposite of Jared Leto, where like he has so much talent, but he doesn't need to make every scene about himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas Jared Leto's like, can you shut the fuck up? I'm doing some acting right now.
Yeah, he's like, I've got this weird walk to pull off here.
God, I forgot about that.
We've talked about that before.
I'm gonna be like 80 years old, and we'll be sitting on a couch and be like, what the fuck was up with Jared Leto's walk and the little things?
The little things. God, such a disappointment.
But what if I limp? And the director's like, what? Why? You're just literally walking to your car. I don't fucking get it.
Character would limp. He's like, I don't know. I wrote him, and I don't think he limps. I literally wrote the character.
And Jared's like, can we do 6 where I limp and then 1 where I don't? He's like,
yeah, can we do 6 for me and then 1 for you?
I don't like the ratio there, but okay. 6 for me and 1 for you.
Is that not good?
Sounds like a successful relationship.
I feel bad for him and Hardy though, because he goes to his fucking he's like, okay, I'll play ball to his agent. He's like, cool, we got Morbius and Venom for you. We'll just do some safe fucking superhero movies, and they just turn out. I haven't seen Morbius though. I bet it's pretty good. They just didn't get good reviews.
Oh, I saw it. We can have a different discussion.
We can have a different
discussion. I
discussion.
don't know. Is that on Plus?
That is on.
I gotta watch it.
I think it's on HBO.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Don't though. But
yeah, Titanic coming out.
Titanic. I think we need again. Nate just helped me
61.
legitimize this list. Titanic had to be on someone's because I don't know if it's on mine.
Yeah, it was also one of the first films. Like obviously, like there's some scary moments in cartoons when you're small, but like coming at like 9, 10 years old, like seeing this like a ship sinking and like actually like envisioning yourself on that, you feel like actual like panic. And like I feel like they encapsulated that really well, and like claustrophobia, like going down like wow as the water is rising and all that. Like it had like legitimate scary moments, especially for
as
like,
it's
a young
filling
kid.
like the lower decks of the ship.
Yeah.
100%.
And then you got to see boobs, so that was cool.
I was gonna say when you said as a 9 or 10-year-old seeing this, I was like, he's gonna talk about Kate Winslet's tits real quick.
Yeah.
Check out our movie commentary on Titanic. That was a long time ago, but
Billy Zane.
Yeah, basically becomes the Billy Zane apology tour.
Billy.
All right, Geiger, why don't we all just do our number 60s? Geiger, you can start. What is one ahead of Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, which was your 61st
Perfect
film?
segue, Jeff. Thanks for throwing it to me, because we're going to keep it with James Cameron's filmography, because I'm a Terminator at number 60. For two reasons. Terminator.
Sorry, Terminator.
How kismet.
For 2 reasons. For one, as a kid, I was like, damn, this is scary. It's kind of the first thriller. Would you call this a thriller? Action thriller? Can we call it that?
On a rewatch, I think it's more thriller than action, to be honest. The second one is more of an action movie, sci-fi, but.
And as an adult who cheers for the villain and is a big fan of Arnold, fucking love it even more, because I'm just cheering for him just to fucking destroy the world. And is there another generation, or like, the 80s was so into like, oh, there's going to be robots and flying cars. Even more, dude, we're not even in. We don't even think there's going to be flying cars. We're trying to figure out like what gender we are right now. We don't even.
Right. All they did was write checks that their ass couldn't cash. That's like, all the 80s.
It's just about cocaine and robots, and like we're going to have sex with robots and have flying cars, and everything's going to be futuristic. And the movies were like that too. It's like, dude, by the 2000s, we'll be doing all this. Or like, dude, by the 2000s, like, we don't even know if like eggs are good for us. Like, we have no fucking clue. But I love Terminator, man. It is such an 80s flick. It's fun to watch Cameron, as Thurman just brought up, fucking Titanic. I mean, a totally different cinematic experience than Terminator, for sure.
Yeah.
This introduced Arnold to the world. Without Arnold, we wouldn't have, action heroes like Bruce Willis, Stallone, The Rock. He created that genre, man. Like, he's like the fucking Elvis of the action movie. So kudos to him.
And it is weird how when you go rewatch Terminator, like, James Cameron was so confident. And again, this idea hadn't been beaten to death yet of like the cyborg who's like hunting someone down, but he's so confident that the idea is cool as fuck that he doesn't feel the need to do an action set piece every 10 minutes,
Right. Now, walking away from it in 1984, where it came out, I don't know if anyone, there wasn't bars and movie theaters, but asked for 18 more of them, starring Christian Bale, but invitation for another day.
Yeah, definitely. I still think to this day, I mean, There are 2 good movies in the Terminator franchise, and all the rest are just fucking turds.
And it's 1 and 2. And
Yes.
I would say it's a miracle that The Rock hasn't been in one and been a Terminator or completely rebooted it. It's a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, if I said like you have to make a pact right now before you die, will he be in one? And I mean, easy money would say yes, right?
I don't know. He's 50 and in the best shape of his life, all natural. So
yeah.
All
right, Nate, what is your 60th movie? We've got some good shit on the top 100 today. Like this is how you know we're getting into like the meat and potatoes, because the days of like
yeah,
the
we're
Ring.
not even 50 yet.
Yeah, I know. Nate, what is your 60th right ahead of Titanic?
So this is another testament of these are our own curated, unique lists. And Geiger, I don't even know if you've seen this one. Horns, I think you have seen this one. And honestly, put these lists together, went through hundreds of movies, and this is just where it shook out. But A Simple Favor landed in here.
Dude, huge fan of this movie.
And I think this is a very underrated movie. And I'm sure a lot of people out there like it.
You told me to watch this, actually.
You just don't hear many people talk about it. This came out in 2018. It's got Anna Kendrick. It's got Blake Lively in it. It's got Henry Golding.
And your sales pitch is what, Nate? What's one scene that you would sell anyone on?
Do I want to spoil it for people?
Is that a spoiler? I guess it is.
This is a phenomenal movie. It's one of my wife's favorite movies.
Is it a spoiler if it makes you want to go masturbate? I guess that's.
I mean, all you have to. Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. That's all you need.
Yeah, I already had my hand down my pants when he named the cast.
Yeah. But I'm sure there's other movies out there that are kind of like this, but like, it's kind of unique. It's like, it's got some light, funny moments in it, but it's a dark comedy is what I would explain it as. But it's fun because Blake Lively plays this like very powerful, very confident woman. And Anna Kendrick kind of comes into her life as a more naive kind of a homemaker type. But then you see a change throughout the whole movie, some manipulation, some twists and turns. But yeah, I just think it is really well done. It's interesting. It's directed by Paul Feig, who did
really.
Yeah, who's done a ton of like
his best movie then. And I like Bridesmaids, but this is
Bridesmaids. He's been in the industry for a long time. He's done a ton of episodes of like The Office, like directing those. Mm-hmm. But this one like really stands out because it's like very unique, kind of off the wall. But I don't know what it is. I've watched it several times since it came out in 2018. And there's
first time I saw Henry Goulding. I don't know if anyone of you have seen him in anything else.
I think there's some other things that I've seen him in. I think is he in he's in Crazy Rich Asians. Yeah.
It's a good plot when you tell a movie buff the cast and then say, literally, I can't tell you anything else without giving away the plot. And I saw this a couple years ago. My wife was watching it. She's like, you'd actually like this. And I thought it was just a chick flick. And I'm like, dude, this is like, I almost call it like Lucky Number 11 or like something like there's just so much shit going on. There's twists and turns.
Where you go from like laughing to being like, oh shit.
But it's a very good film. And
yeah,
Thurman's right. Like you can't really say too much or, you'll give away. I mean, because there's stuff that happens in the first act, second act, third act.
Yeah, really, like I said, it sets up really well. Like the whole, and like there's no like drags in it at all. Like it keeps progressing really well. There's little things that are happening.
It's like always moving. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always moving. But yeah,
I'll just say I just double checked my list and I will talk about this later at some point. Is all I'll say.
Thank you. There we go. That's what I like to see because I like put this up there. And I was like, I don't know if anyone else, but okay, I'm glad I have. I don't need the support, but it's fun to have the support. Yeah,
it's good to just feel like you're.
It's good.
I think you recommended this to me, like you saw it first. And you're like, I think you'll like it, and I was like, and what's the line from Wedding Crashers? I love it.
Yeah, and then I watched it pretty soon again afterwards because I liked it so much.
The one scene in Anna Kendrick only in a like a kitchen robe.
Yeah,
I'll have to go revisit it just to double check.
That's the one thing I remember.
Yeah, just for
I
research.
remember a lot of stuff, but that's the only one I care to remember.
That's all that matters.
Great inclusion. All right, I will end the night with one that I know Geiger loves, and it's about that time, guys. It's about holiday season. I was putting together a list that I want to send you guys of 10 movies that we all need to watch this holiday season just to talk about on pod, and this is on the list. Quoted it off the top, and that is my number 60 being Office Christmas Party.
Nice.
With an incredible cast. Matt, we could quote this thing to fucking wazoo. I love the T.J. Miller in his prime. But I think the best line for Matt and I is when they're on the sales call and they know that if they don't fucking close this account, the whole business is going under. And TJ Miller's like, let's just invite this guy to the Office Christmas party. And as their potential prospect is getting up and leaving, TJ Miller goes, Hank, do you party? The guy turns around and what does he say, Matt?
He's like, I used to. It's the guy who played Johnny Cochran in the O.J. Simpson.
Yes. And he shows up.
Oh, really?
And yeah. And they're shooting fucking cocaine out of like a t-shirt cannon at the Office Christmas party. But there's also a line in it where TJ Miller is trying to make like a fantasy football trade while dressed in a Santa outfit. And you think he's on a Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. Jennifer Aniston walks in, thinks he's on a business call for once, and he goes, it's December, Derek. If you want fucking value, you're going to have to pay for it. Then he hangs up and he goes, this is the last time I play in a $20 per team buy-in for fantasy football. What's up, Heather? What can I help you with?
Thinks he's like with like a client. He's going to save the fucking company. It's a great film. Great cast, too. A bunch of like Saturday Night Live, or like up and coming kind of comic people are in it.
Jason Bateman, Olivia Munn, yeah, and then just a ton of like other the Indian guy from Silicon Valley who's in Deadpool, who's hilarious, is in it. Can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
Kate McKinnon is in it. She plays the HR representative who has to like let this fucking party go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this this Christmas season. I think I've seen it once, but it's been a while.
Every Christmas, it's on FX all the time. It doesn't do it justice though. FX,
I think I just looked up. It's on Hulu. So
perfect. Hulu. Yeah, this is one you got to watch around like in the next week or two to really get you in the holiday mood, and it's just fucking laugh out loud funny. Like there's a laugh a minute in this thing, and I put this in the same category as like The Night Before, and I guess even a little bit 8-Bit Christmas. But there's like this like raunchy Christmas movie niche that's small, but every movie in it I really, really enjoy.
Bad Santa.
Yes, sorry, I forgot about Bad Santa. Great. That actually probably started the trend.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
And soon to come, Violent Night.
Oh, God.
Can't wait.
Whole episode coming.
Comment.
When is that released?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm Googling it right now. It is December 2nd. Fuck yeah. Nate, we're going to theaters together to watch it. All right, guys. That'll do it for episode, Jesus Christ, 195. They've almost let us do 200 of these. What's wrong with the world? Geiger, closing thoughts for the people at home.
Just pull over for emergency vehicles. Like it's someone's daughter in there. I was about to say that.
Don't be sick. Wherever you need to go, it can fucking wait. Unless you're an Uber Eats delivery driver who I just ordered Thai food, so it's good there.
Get there fast.
Give it to me lukewarm. I'll give you 2.5 stars. I'm not afraid.
Exactly. Yeah, this could affect it's your business that's on the line. Think of yourself, Matt. You and I remember our old boss used to say this. You're basically a small business owner.
Like this is from Skin Cut 42. I'm gonna fucking pull in front of this ambulance.
Nate, what are your closing thoughts for the people at home?
Let's see what I have in my brain today. Go and get your regular checkups. Like preventative care. That's really important. Like going to the dentist. If you have insurance through your work or whatever, it's probably covered. So I need to go to the dentist. So
same.
Need to schedule that appointment, but it's usually included. So go out there. Make sure you're getting all those checkups.
Get blood work done once a year too. Just kind of check out what's going on.
Why?
Do you guys do that? Do you go to primary care and get like a physical every year?
I did, and then they told me I had high cholesterol, and I stopped going.
Okay, dude, that's exactly what I did. And you know what? Since I haven't had high cholesterol.
I haven't gone since I was in school because you had to go for sports. But I'm like, why would I go? I'm like, I know I'm fatter than fuck, according to Jeff's mom. But
well, when I went, I remember the doctor being disappointed. She's like, "How many times do you work out per week?" And I'm not like some fitness guru, but I was like, I work out probably 5 or 6 times a week. She's like, "Okay, how many times do you have red meat a week?" I was like, "Maybe once." She was like, "Well, fuck, you might just genetically have high cholesterol." I was like, "Well, god damn it." She wanted to be like, "Well, there's your problem."
Yeah. No.
Problem if you have high cholesterol if you're not overweight?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Nate and I have done the same thing. This is a horrible way to end the pod, but we just, like, don't eat steak as much, which I didn't eat steak a lot anyway. I love steak, but I would have it, like, once every 10 to 15 days, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
eat it less.
I mean, I like red meat, but I only eat it, like, maybe once a week.
Yeah. I mean, I've cut back quite a bit since then, so I'm just, in my head, I've helped, but... thank you for tuning in to the health portion of the Bro Force Squad podcast.
Yep. It's not the Bro Fork Squad because we're actually condemning steak, but it's close.
Yeah, we're still working on that podcast, though. It's soon to come.
All right. For our Disney Plus subscriber, the Enforcer in the Paint, Matt Geiger, and the American hero, Nate Thurman, and a special shout out to the First Lady, Mrs. Thurman. I am the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys for checking out the Bro Force Squad podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Broforce Squad. We're on Instagram as well, same handle. Letterboxd, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, anywhere if you type in Bro Force Squad. It has 3 separate words, and our website, broforcesquad.com. Till next time, we'll see you at the dentist, where Nate and I will be getting our biannual teeth cleaning.
Yeah, hopefully I don't have any cavities.
Bro Fork Squad is like Shoo-La-La. It's just not ready yet.
No,
we're still working on it. What's his cereal restaurant, too?
I can't remember.
We'll have every type of cereal. What is it?
Dang it, I don't know.